Guys, Asher coming at you today with another Race Shadow Legends champion guide, this time on Oathbound. So we have Brandon Bam, Oathbound guide. Absolutely, Brandon Bam. We have a Bucket Mouth Incorporated. Oathbound, built with a 6-star soul, is a beast. Very underrated tank and hits hard AF. Okay, I'll be the judge of that. What was his name again? Bucket Mouth Inc. Joshua Carlin. Hey Ash, first and foremost, respect what you do to Sherry. Oh, thank you so much. Champion request, Oathbound. All right, guys, let's take a look at this Oathbound. Is he as good as these guys say he is? Let's find out. All right, so Oathbound, I actually invested in Oathbound and maxing out Oathbound fairly recently. I want to say, I don't know, maybe 3 months ago on my account, because there was an especially difficult, challenging, not to be redundant, level in Soul Cross in Centranos, and I was really lacking any options for stun sets. So I want to kind of point out, I don't have them in a stun set in today's video, but for end game content, aka, again, hard mode, Centrano, Soul Cross, I guess even in progression mode, it's absolutely viable to build him as a control champion because he has a 3-turn cooldown that doesn't even require booking. So an AoE 3-turn Fearsome Presence stun set, absolutely viable option in that regard. So that's why I initially invested in him, but his kit isn't half bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. First of all, base stats, he's a defense-based champion, awkwardly scaling off of attack as well. I hate when they do that, but the good news is even though attack is listed first, the defensive multipliers are much more significant than the attack, so you can pretty much totally ignore attack on this champion. His base attack is 782. His defense is 1299, which isn't that great for a defense-based champion, but it is what it is. 1830 is decent survivability when you factor in the HP and the defense. On his A1, Shatter attacks one enemy. We have a 20, call it a 30, 40, 50% chance of placing a freeze for 1 turn. Not bad. 50% freeze on an A1 isn't bad at all. And then damage inflicted proportional to defense. It's weird that they say that and then they list attack there first too. Anyway, Subjugate on his A2 is a 3-turn cooldown. As I mentioned, the nice thing is you can use him as a stunner or a debuffer really without booking right away, to see if you like him. And AoE, 75% can be booked up to a, 95% chance of placing a decreased attack on all enemies for 2 turns. You pick up the Sniper Mastery. It brings it to 100% chance of landing that decreased attack big version on an AoE. Really good. And then it gets even better, right? Also has a 75% chance when booked of decreasing each target's turn meter by 20%. So we're obviously mitigating damage for our entire team with the decreased attack. And we have that control in there as well as the decreased turn meter. So I really like that ability. Again, all on a 3-turn cooldown. You want to throw in that stun set, you get a lot of control with the turn meter and the debuff. Intimidate is his A3 ability on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. Attacks 4 times at random. Each attack has a 30 or a 50% chance when booked of placing a block active skills. The chances of block active skills is increased to 100% even when unbooked if the target is under a decreased attack, which of course, again, he has on the A2. That's it, guys. There's no passives. There's no aura. That's Oathbound. Let's see what people say about him in the reviews here. Arena offense, arena defense, or is his best ratings, it looks like. Oof, I don't agree with that. I mean, the good thing about him is if you pull him in the early game and you really want to use him, and it's ironic, arena offense and defense being his highest ratings here, he could be a decent, I guess an average to maybe slightly above average in the early arena progression game as, I guess, kind of a damage dealer. The damage is on Oathbound is good, but not great, okay? He's not going to be the main DPS on a lot of your teams. If he is, the teams are going to go pretty slow. Let's take a look at his multipliers. Hellhades.com, the best website in the biz. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Gives him a 3.5. You can barely see it on the screen, but take my word for it, a 3.5 out of 5. Not bad, right? So kind of like a B- type grade. They give his key areas as... let's see, Doom Tower wave content. To me, he's a wave killer. He's a good wave champion, right? With the AoE decreased attack. Decreased attack obviously useful here as well in Ice Golem normal. They give him a 4 out of 5 in Spider kind of progression. And then Eternal Dragon is his highest score in Doom Tower with a 3.5. So really not going to be an all-star outside of maybe secret rooms, Centranos, or progression in areas like Ice Golem, and areas where you really want that AoE decrease attack from a tanky champion. His multipliers are a 1.5 attack plus a 2.7 defense. 2.7 defense is not that bad, you know, but granted, it doesn't scale incredibly well at a 1299 base. Was it 1299? It was. Just give him a 1300. Come on, player. A 4 multiplier, again, is actually really good, but it is tempered a little bit by the scalability of the defense, but still, it's a solid multiplier, a 4 multiplier. And then a 1.65 on the 4-time hitter. It gives it a weak overall grading, but again, if you can scale that defense high enough, it's not awful, you know, that damage that you can get there. Block active skills is handy, but on a 4-time at random, it's not really dependable. It'd be better to have, you know, some sort of a block active skills obviously isn't going to work against bosses, and these random hitters are great when you're attacking just one boss, right? So, you know, kind of like a holstering type mechanic in terms of you really love that against bosses, not so much against waves because you can't dictate where it goes. So kind of a mixed review of his kit overall. He's not a worthless champion though. You know, the AoE decrease attack on a 3-turn at 100% with sniper in and of itself on a tanky defense-based champion, you can deal some damage with block active skills, some control on the A3. Yeah, it's not a bad kit. It's not a bad kit, especially for a legacy champion in the game. I'll show you how I have him built in today's video. And again, I actually use this champion. Like I really legitimately use him on my account. I did build him for damage in today's video just to show you what he can do. But there's no issues at all with going for more survivability on him, going perception, a little bit of speed. You're obviously going to need that accuracy for the decreased attack and the decreased turn meter and the block active skills. So accuracy is going to be first and foremost. Defense in terms of stat priorities, speed, crit rate, crit damage would be what I would prioritize. You don't want to totally neglect HP either. I put him in lethal and perception, you know. Again, triple perception works. A stun set works. If I did pick up a stun set, I would come all the way down to Fearsome Presence as my tier 6 mastery, even negating, you know, missing out on War Master. If you're just using him in wave content, you could consider Helm Smasher instead of War Master. Today's video, we're going to build him with, we don't need attack on him as a defense. Actually, we do. I might as well go for the attack. You can see on this build, I'm already at 104 crit rate. And since the attack does scale off that A1, I mean, it's not going to make a big difference, guys. But we might as well go for it because we don't need the crit damage. Normally, I would go crit rate because you're probably going to need it. Probably going to build them with that. I'm going to go crit damage as well. I'm going to go Life Drinker to kind of build in a little bit of life steal in his kit. Inflict damage single out. We're going to go down with Bring It Down as well. Be very handy on Methodical. And we're going to go with War Master so we can have some viability against bosses as well as, you know, dealing decent damage in waves as well. Let's go with Heart of Glory. And then let's pick up some accuracy. We're going to go with Pinpoint Accuracy. We're going to go Charge Focus. We're going to go Swarm Smiter. We're going to go with Evil Eye, just because Lore of Steel, we're only going to benefit from just the one perception set. We're going to go with Sniper, absolutely, to bring, again, that decrease attack up to a 100% on the A2. And then I would love to extend the duration of the decreased attack with Master Hexer as well. It will also work with block active skills. So it's a really, I would say Master Hexer and Sniper are going to be obvious go-tos on Oathbound. One thing on Oathbound too is I would say you don't have to, you can use him, test him out without, kind of like Hope. We did a Hope guide a couple days ago on the channel. Try him out without even going for Masteries, without even booking him, and just see if you like him, and if you want to invest further, go for it. I don't think it's mandatory on either of these. I said it in the video, so I'm belaboring the point a little. I'll go Cycle of Magic. Belaboring the point a little bit is in the Masteries here, but I think that all too often we have this this maximist, what is the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm saying? Point of view on champions that we have to take them to total max, right? I don't think that's the case, especially in a champion like Oathbound. You can get tons of utility out of him without going ham and full out maxing him. In Faction Wars, Great Faction War champion for progression. I would say even in Faction Wars, you can take him to level 50 and just try him out. No books, no masteries. And as you progress and as you need more from him, you can make the decision then. I went Cruelty on the Blessing. I think Cruelty is a great option for Oathbound. Decrease the target's defense for each hit. Obviously, he does have the AoE 3 turn and the 4-time hitter on the A3, which is great. For bosses, when he does land those hits, you can decrease their defense as well because it happens per hit, not per ability. And he's hitting 4 times. All right, guys, let's go ahead and show you the gear really quickly here. We have accuracy on the banner. We have crit damage on the amulet. We have defense on the ring. We have speed on the boots. We have defense percentage on the chest. And we have crit damage on the gauntlets. If you're just starting out or if you're kind of mid-game, there's absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, I would advise you guys, just build them with crit rate on the gauntlets. That way you can kind of lower the threshold and the stress of finding all that crit rate on the substats and the rest of your gear. And again, perception, accuracy sets work totally well on him. Heck, a speed set is fine on him as well. So his total stats here are going to be 46k, 3,700 on the defense, 198 on the speed, 104 and 243 on the crit rate, crit damage 355 on the accuracy. I'm going to go ahead and show you him in Centranos. Curse City, oh gosh, what was it? Was it D12? D12? No, it wasn't D12. All right, I took notes. I'm ready here. I'm ready. Not really. D20. D12, pretty good group, you know? All right, here we go. We have him with Tyrell. This is kind of a DPS check here. Ulfrig, Ursula, Tyrell, Oathbound, and Apothecary. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller so you guys can see the entire screen. Let's go ahead and run this on auto here. This is hard Centranos, and it's not the floor that I was talking about, though. It was Soul Cross was the most difficult level, or area, I should say, was where that was the reason I maxed him. The options were so limited. Any endgame players out there, you know what I'm talking about, right? You probably know if you have Oathbound and you've used him in your end game, you probably know the floor, the area, I should say, that I used him on. Anyway, going against an Alsgor who's going to be annoying with the block damage, but this is really a DPS check again against some of these other decent champions. I have a guide, I think, all on Ulfrig already. Man, I like that guy a lot. I think he's a super, super sleeper champion. He doesn't jump out the page at you, but he's got damage and he's just a cool champion. Even though he looks super, super lame. Looks like a common, man, his character model. I'll come back to you guys at the end of this run because there's not a lot. Actually, screw it. Let's just watch him, right? There he is right now. That was A1, man. That was a hard-hitting attack, 58k damage. Not bad, right? That's his AoE, 59k, 34k. It's a shame. Was it his AoE or was it his A3? I didn't notice if the decrease attack landed or the block active skills, my bad. Let's see what he does next here. Okay, that was his A3. So solid damage. Really cool that the block active skills landed on Hackor and Smashlord because he's the cleanser on the enemy team. He's the healer on the enemy team, and now he can't do anything because he has block active skills. Block active skills, super, super valuable. Really valuable against mythical champions. They can't change forms, so it's become more valuable with the introduction of mythicals. And look at that subjugate, man. That hits pretty hard. That hits pretty hard, the A2, right? Let's see what he does compared to Ulfrig here. Tyrell, Oathbound, about the same damage. Oathbound a little bit more than Tyrell, but Tyrell is fully awakened, okay? Ulfrig, though, man, almost doubled the damage. That guy's a beast. He also fully awakened, though. +1 empowered, +1 empowered, +1 empowered. Ulfrig, however, is not in lethal gear. So, again, damage is solid. Tyrell-ish damage, I want to say. A bit better than Tyrell, I would say. So not bad. Not bad at all, right? We do have Ursula. We don't have an increase defense champion on the team, notable as well. And he's a defense-based damage dealer. So to get more damage out of Oathbound, you're going to want to pair him with other defense, an increased defense buff on your team. Really important. Let's go ahead and jump into Doom Tower. I was using him on Secret Room 1 on Doom Tower hard this rotation. And here he is again. We have, I think this is the first time I've ever shown Talia on the channel. I also maxed her out recently. We have Azar Zargala, we have Vogoth, and we have Archmage Helmet on the team. And again, I love him in this wave content. Keep everybody alive with a decreased attack. Do some damage at the same time. That is the A2 ability. Decrease attack on everybody. Nice, dependable, 100% land rate. Keep in mind affinities, of course, as well. There's the A3. Some solid damage. Some solid damage from him. He's a nice champion. He's not a game changer. He's not the best epic in the game. I do think that kind of B rating on Oathbound, maybe a B minus, maybe a B plus, depending on your affinity towards him. I think it's a pretty. I'm in line with that. I'm in line with that. We didn't show it here on the video, but again, I think that Ice Golem could be a super viable spot for him. That decreased attack is going to be great, and he's tanky too. I'll come back to you guys at the end of this run because you don't need to see another block damage wave here for 2 minutes. Listen to me ramble. So we'll be right back and leave our closing thoughts on this champion. All right, guys. Again, out damaged by Zargala, certainly kind of damage in line with Talia, who is also fully awakened, unlike Oathbound. So my man definitely, is bringing he's bringing the heat. He brings a lot to the table. I think a lot of players can benefit from Oathbound, an often forgotten defense-based Force Affinity Bannerlord champion, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of this champion, especially if you've already invested in him. And please keep the champion guide requests coming in the comments below. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.